Hello everyone, a warm welcome. So today we are going to do our project 9 in our series 10 SAPUI5 project for beginners. And this time, because we have been trying to explore various controls and then include external libraries, we have done barcode scanning. I believe what is pending now is to somehow add a very important thing, which is let me just bring it on, which is a map. So we'll build in this project 9. We will try to add a map to our SAPUI5 project, and then once we have added that, then we will try to add some markers and zoom, right, and zoom functionality, and maybe somehow change these terrain, for example, from where you can see roads to satellite to different things. Okay, so we'll do that, and let's see how it goes. So without wasting further much time, let's quickly start our project, and as always, let's try to use our easy UI5 to create the skeleton, and then we will add the maps, Google Maps and all. So as you can see, this generator has already been updated, right? And this is we saw this in the latest UI5 con also, and you have also an option of TypeScript also, which we might explore in some other day. So we will quickly choose UI5 project, and we will create a new project. Yes. We will name it as maps com.pe. We'll use static one XML. Maybe this time let's just use this one. Yes. So let it run. So we have our app installed under maps, so that's okay. So now let's see how do we proceed. So basically it will be similar to what we have done in our scanning. We will have first look at our we'll first download the maps library, the Google Maps one. We'll add it under resource, right, and then we'll add it to manifest.json so that it gets loaded when the app is run. And then once that is done, then maybe we can uh, add further processing. So let's just quickly go here, and maybe I close this, and if I go here, so I've already, in the interest of time, already recorded, as in I have already bookmarked all the stuff so that we don't waste further much time. So let's assume that we have first that library is available in maps.googleapis.com / this one, maps api.js. So this is the app, and this is how you use it. So once that is loaded via manifest.json, all you need is this to load a map, right? Plus I believe you need a div also, like we have added a div for our barcode. Yeah, so it'll be more on a similar line, but we'll keep exploring. So first let's do this way that I will open this. Maybe let's just hide this for the time being, and I will create a folder here, and let's call it as lib, right? Under lib we have maps.js, okay? And in maps.js we copy this and save. Normally, in case, because this is for a development purpose we are using this, but in case you are doing it for productive purpose, you should generate a Google Maps API from Google Cloud Console and do the processes, and it has further libraries which you might read for determining the routes and all. Okay, but for our project, it's sufficient enough to load it via directly without a key also. So we have our API, and we will need to load it here in our CSS, right? You remember, we'll just copy it from our scanning app, right? And under scanning, I'll go to manifest.json, this one. We'll copy this, copy manifest.json, paste, and we'll correct the path. It is map, here also map. So when the app will start, this app will be loaded. Okay, then we also need a div, right? And if you remember, we had a div also here, right? And div, and along with it, let's have a button also. Let's say start map, rather than loading it directly. So what I will do is I'll just copy this, okay, and open this and put here our div, okay. And then also we'll copy the footer, and we'll put here the footer. I will adjust the things, and then I go to this tag, the namespace HTML. I'm copying the namespace, and we have the namespace also. So let me just close this and press save. So this will be like start maps, okay. So we'll have it like start map function, and here we don't have anything, so I'll just comment it, right? And in our main view, I will create a start map function, right? And inside this, since it is we are assuming that our library is already loaded, so let's just copy this for the time being, and so this is doing nothing, because to identify a space or a place in a map, you need to find that, you know, how it is found is you have a latitude and a longitude. So that is what identifies uniquely a place. So that's what we are doing. We have provided one latitude and longitude. This, if you remember, because SAPUI5 framework, when it generates those elements, it does not generate with these IDs, it adds its own stuff, right? And I'll make it as a map, right? So how do we get that? Is basically, if we go to main controller here, so we use it like something like this dot by id, then you basically create that id for it, and it will generate that id. So if I go here, I will do like this, and this is a map, right? But in this case, we just don't need the id, we need a DOM reference, right? So I will say dot get DOM ref, that function is available, right? So this will actually help us in getting a DOM, right? And once you have that, so what is left is, then let's see, this is good. We have, this is by MIDI, then map, where is this getting close? This looks okay, comma, then maybe, yes, okay, this looks okay. So it will automatically get that reference, DOM reference, that will generate a map. And when it will generate a map, once I click on this, maybe let me just close things so that I'm not, once I click this start map button, so let's just do this. Then we say cd copy path, and okay, then I say clear it's a bash shell, okay. So now I say ui5 serve hyphen config dot ui module slash ui5 dot yaml. So now let's try to generate it. Hopefully it should work. Let's see. So process no such, why UI module, this is how it is, right? Thought ui5.yaml, we have, maybe since it's a bash shell, it needs a dot slash, 1 second. the slash, I believe. Oh, and we need inverted commas. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, good. So the server is started, and if I just copy this, right, and we go to this place and I say localhost. Okay, good. If I go to index.html, then and let's open in parallel the things. It is not able to find, unable to, fail to load component for container this, fail to load com slash resources libs. Okay, 1 second. If I just make it hidden, and if I go here, the library is mentioned as libs and we have libs. So let it reload. Map.js. Maps ups. Yes, one S is again missing. So now there was two issues. One was libs, another was maps. So hopefully now it will be loaded. Good. So you see this in the bottom, we have start one. Hold on, let me make it a bit smaller so that you are able to see. Yes, now you can see start maps. So now if I just open this, yes, and like this, it is better, right? Let's clear this. I say start map. It says map is not defined. Okay, where is map is not defined? I forgot to put here. Let's have it as a var for the timing, and then we try. Now if I click start maps, then what happens now next? Do we have any other error? Sources, if I say start map, then it should have loaded. It is not loaded, and this is looking fine. I think again let me just open this. I'm missing something. If I go here and look at this JavaScript, we have CSS. We did not set the height of the map, so let me have copy this. I go here, I go to CSS, and since we'll have a class, so I'll just say height 100%, and in main view let me add here class also as map, right? And now let's see what happens. So if I say let's hope. So if I say start, it goes there. You see, brilliant. So this is there, right? This is done. So we have a map which is being loaded via this, right? So if you look at this, the code, it is right now the locations are hard coded, right? And I don't want to hard code it. I want that there is something we shall kind of, it shall determine our location, and from the browser only, and then once we click on add marker, then it will add a mark at that place, right? And then maybe do other stuff. So first let's see how do we determine the location, right? So for that, if you just go here, and we are already provided with a geolocation API, right? And we can use this method, right, to get the current position and all, right? And this navigator has a has a method name get current position, and this success and error are the callbacks, success, right, and error. So let's do that. So maybe what we do is we'll add one more button here, and let's add it here. So we say button text get current location, right? And we say here get location. Okay, so now if you look here, so I will define here get location column function, and I need to, because this location I need to store somewhere so that I can use it, and this map reference also we need to store somewhere, right? So what we can do is we can have something like on init function, right? And then during that what we say is that, because we'll store the latitude as well as longitude, right? So let's just define those properties, right? And plus we'll have this dot map, right? So these three we want, and we'll see whether we need something more or all, right? So for this get location function, right, what we can do right now is we can actually copy that, right? Or maybe let me bring that here. So what I am saying is that if navigator dot geolocation is enabled, right, then you get me the high accuracy one, you get me the current position. Then I have defined two callbacks on finding location and error. Let's just define these two also. Okay, so this is here, this is here, this I don't know is from where, right? And then this is here, this is here, then this is here. What is the problem? This empty spaces is okay. Okay, so now let me just define on finding the location what do we need to do. So we need to store that, right? So what I will do is I'm defining the callback function, which it will call, and during the callback it will pass a variable which will have the location, right? And then we define our error function also, right, where we can say that in case there is some error, right, then you can have console log error, simple. Right, and if you look at this, so all I have is if we have a geolocation, right, then I am passing what you call this method, you pass the callback on finding location, right, and then you have an error and option, right? So once you have found the coordinates, right, what do you want? I want something like, let we have maybe we can have it as coordinates, right, is equal to, we'll have it in pause, we'll have and under this property it has the coordinate, right? So this what we can do is we can store in this dot latitude, this we have already created, right? So which is like coordinate dot latitude, okay, and similarly I'll have coordinate dot longitude. So once you get the location, you store it, we'll store that. Okay, now we have this, let's also store this map reference also, because we'll need it later, as you will see. So we have the map reference, map is already there, we have got the locations, right? Now what do we need to do? Maybe in the interest of time, what we can do is let's display some message once that location is found, right? So for that we are going to use message box. As you must be aware, we have used it previously. So what I will do is I will say message box dot show, right? Then I'll use latitude, right, is this dot latitude, and longitude is this dot longitude. So we are now stored the latitude and longitude once you press get location. And but will the location will it update the map? No, right? So what we can do is we can, maybe what I can do is rather than starting the map first, right, what we'll do something. Let's say that we are passing this latitude and longitude, right? I'll show you the difference. So first what we'll do is we'll get the location, right? Once our location is found, then we'll start the map, and then it will basically kind of put it there where we want to locate it, right? And so let's just save it, and there are too many things. Let's see it works, right? So let me disable this breakpoint. Let's see, this I don't need. So we have start map, get current location, right? And now if I do a directly a start map, right, because there is 1 second, because if we will call it directly, then first we'll call start map and then get location, then this thing will be blank and it will behave awkwardly. So let's just assume that we will call first get current location, then start map for the demo. So let me just change the order also. So I say one is you get current location, let me add one, let me add two here, and then start maps. Okay, so if you can let me make it big up, let it load. You can see one get current location, another is start map. Now if I click here, latitude is undefined. Why? The longitude is coming, latitude is undefined. Okay, let me just quickly check get location. This is where, and latitude single T spelling mistake. Hold on, there's a spelling mistake, and let me correct that, right? So we have now, let it reload. So we'll have correct current location, very good, and that is stored in our local, in our this attribute, right? And if I just now say start map, and it starts the map, but yes, very close to where I am, it's showing the right place, but we need something like a kind of a marker, to highlight where we are, right? So let's just quickly maybe first add a button which is for marker. So I say copy this button 3, third step, add marker, right? And then in our control we will add here something like add marker colon function, and that's it, right? We have add marker now. Okay, and how do we add marker? I have already the link, so that's like simple markers. Let it reload. So simple marker is like for example, in case you need to add a marker like this, yes, we want to add a marker like this, all you need is a map, and then like this you need to pass the reference of the map, and then you need to pass the position, which we also have, and title. Okay, let's just copy this, and we go to our add marker, and we have the reference also of map here, and latitude longitude, right? So I will say here, 1 second, let me copy this. Okay, and we'll have something like this dot latitude, okay, and this dot longitude, okay, and then this is more likely our this dot map, right? And it is some title, right? So now we are able to add a marker also. We have passed our map reference, and since the global JavaScript map library is already loaded, let's see how it works. I hope it works. If it doesn't work, we'll do something. So if I just go click current location, it is there. Maps, it is there. And if I say add marker, okay, let me remove this. Wow, brilliant. So it has added the marker, but this marker is not doing anything, right? Because what I want is that in case let's say you click on it, it will start zooming, right? So let's say we will add another button here, right? A fourth one. I'm adding everything on the left. You can format, do colors or something, whatever you feel like. So I say enable zoom, and here also I say enable zoom, right? And I copy this. I then define a function enable zoom, right? And then the spelling is wrong, function, right? So let's see how do we enable zoom. So for that we have a maps event, which is you add the marker and then it pass the map and all, it gets you the position to that place, right? It zoomed to the 9 level, and this is like it zooms in then zooms out. Yeah, this looks good. So we'll just copy this, right? And we go back and we say on marker we have not saved anywhere. Let's just save it in another attribute like we have done earlier. So I'll add it as this dot marker, right? So we have the marker, we have the kind of this marker, we have map also. So let me copy this dot. We have zoom, center, marker, map. So everything is okay. So we have zoom on click. Once you click that marker, it will zoom in. After 3000 milliseconds, it zooms out, right? And we have passed our context also, right? And so if I just go back and first I go here, unexpected identifier, which one? Comma, this one. Function's name has to be separated by commas, which is okay. So let me just then do a get current location, very good. Then I do a start maps, very good. This is not start map, this is add marker. Let me change it. Copy paste is something like so add marker, then hopefully now it will work. So things look set. Correct current location, okay. Start maps, okay. Add marker, okay. Enable zoom. And if I click here, no, that thing worked, but it is like it has some another problem which says cannot read undefined. Okay, 1 second. Because this is a function which is a callback one, right? And it doesn't understand what is this, so I will bind this to it, then it will be able to get the marker and everything, and I will bind. Same goes for here also, it's a callback functions. We shall bind the context, right, like this. Or I could have done like something like variable that is equal to this to bring in the scope, but I think it doesn't make sense, right? That's like an old technique. Now we can use bind and apply. So I do a bind and apply. Let's see how it goes. Close this. If I say get current location, okay, start maps, okay, add marker, okay, let me clear everything, and I say enable zoom. Zoom is enabled, there's no error or nothing. If I click here, it goes in, very good, then it comes out, very nice. So it's just working perfectly fine. So it goes in and it goes out, right? So next something is what I want is that we should be also able to change this terrain, that sometimes it should be a satellite view, sometimes it should be some another view. So maybe let's just look at first what all terrains are available. So those are called as map types, and if you look at them, there are four map types: road map, satellite, hybrid, terrain. So which you can change, you can set also during map options while creating the map, or during map.set map type. Very good. And what we will do is we'll add an option of something like what we'll do is we'll add an option of a drop down to choose which map you want to set. So what I will do is let's just go back, and let me open here our reference for all SAPUI5 related stuff, which is ui5.sap.com, and I go to samples, I do select, because this is what I want to use, select, and we will use this select kind of this drop down, and we have this code binding one, and it has also the data also defined. In the interest of the time, I have prepared this in advance so that you will not have to waste much time in going through this pain. So for example, if I now go to controller, here we will first create our JSON model. It has a terrain, road map, satellite, terrain ID, and name. Then what is it will show to you, right? And then I will add since we are using JSON model, we will add it, is already there. JSON model earlier we have added when we started scaffolding, so it's there. Now all that is left is under main view, right? We will add the drop down, right? The select drop down. For that also I'm almost ready. So you have select key, the key is terrain ID, item path is still terrains. If you see here, it is under terrains, these data lie, right? And then it has this, and on change we want to have set that key, right? Whatever is a terrain, whenever you change it, we want this method to trigger. So we'll go here, and I will then create these functions, which is what we call it, on change, right? And I say on change colon function or event object, right? And then this comma here, right? And if you look at the code for this, right, map types, it was using this. Let me then just copy, or maybe just copy this and put here, and our map is under this dot map, right? And somehow I want this to be dynamic. For that we'll just check in debugging how it is coming. Let me just close this and let it reload. There is an error in the view. Why? Because I'm using this core and I need to add it here, that this core, right? Else it will not work. So that core namespace is here, so we are good. Let's see now what happens. I say okay, go ahead. On change we'll need this. Get current location, brilliant. Start maps, okay. Add marker, okay. Zoom in, oh no, enable zoom, okay. Zoom in, zoom out, okay. If you want, you can do it based on when you add marker, you can enable that zoom by default also. It's like more or less it's your individual call. And I can see it is already populated, and if I change something it stops, right? But let's see where it is. So somewhere in our event we should have under parameter that is coming, so I will say get parameters, right? Okay, and under select, so it has selected item. Then I need the key because key has the terrain ID, and here it is. Good. So let me then quickly update our code. And now if I just reload, let me just close the debugger for the timing. Get current position, brilliant. Start maps, okay. Add marker, okay. Enable zoom, yes, okay. And if I just start changing the terrain, I say mountain and rivers, you see this, it changed into mountains and river. And if I say satellite, it shows me a satellite view, right? And I can just, this is how it looks from a satellite, right? And if I just say cities and satellite, then if I just go inside, you will see that cities and satellite. If I just say mountains and river, it changes, right? So this is working perfectly fine, although I'm near to Chandigarh. It's a bit less efficient. I'm here, so which is okay. This is like accuracy is a bit less because I'm using for development purpose only, but good. So I think we are done with our project 9, where we started with, you know, how do we get the kind of map, right? And then current position, then we added a marker, and then we added a, you know, zoom, and then we can change the terrain also. And if you enable those keys also, the API keys, you can actually kind of get further advanced things, right? And can load custom libraries. And so that's our 9th project. We are done with this, and in our 10th project, hopefully we'll keep that simple. Because for everything we have been starting from scratch, but for 10th one we'll keep it a very small project where we'll show you one of the tools library, SAPUI5 tools, which we'll use to quickly create the projects. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new out of this. Keep sharing, keep learning, and stay safe. Bye bye.